Good afternoon, everybody. Naima Singletary here, billiondollarcourage.com. Today is Tuesday, June 21st, and I'm delighted, as always, to be here. For those of you who stay in touch, you know I don't usually produce videos on Tuesday, but just as I was uploading Friday's video, my hard drive just went out. And so I just got it repaired yesterday, got my laptop back this morning. So we're back in business. So today's topic is live your dreams, don't live your fears. And essentially, that is just a changing of words of what Les Brown said in a quote, that so many of us are so busy living our fears that we're not living our dreams. And it's on little scales, small scales, and on big scales. So, gosh, I just lost my train of thought. I got so much going through my brain right now. I have an example specifically that just came to mind at the gym yesterday. I work out 5 days a week. And usually I wear a sports bra and I'll wear like a sports top of some sort on top of the sports bra. And I am incredibly sensitive about my midsection, like many human beings are. And that's my weak area. And so I'm always working on it. I'm always looking at it. You know, when we walk by the mirror in life or somewhere where we can see our shadow, we're always looking at stuff. And I'm always looking at my midsection, my stomach. And so yesterday it was really hot and I did not want to wear the top, and I was only going to wear it to cover my midsection, right? And so I recognized in that moment that I was just afraid to not wear the top because of my midsection and what other people would think about it at the gym. So I said, you know what? I am not going to allow this to intercept what I really want, which I really, really wanted to walk around with just my sports bra on. And so you know what I did? I walked around the locker room, the women's locker room. I walked around and did like this little mind game with myself where like I sort of twitched and, you know, sort of strutted and smiled and laughed. And it was kind of like, okay. It was funny, frankly. It was funny. It felt, oh God, how did it feel? It felt very much on purpose. It felt very like, okay, Naima, like I was getting ready. It was like such a mind game, and it's a requirement. This is what they don't teach you in school. This is what they don't teach you in life, is that if you want something and you need to overcome the fear, you need to do something with yourself on a mental level to be able to be okay with doing it. So I walked around the locker room just twitching and just sort of getting comfortable with myself with it and realizing that it's about how I feel. It's about how I look to myself, not what other people think, not what other people feel, and that it's all good. So what was the result? I walked outside into the main area where everybody was working out without this top on. And I'm telling you, I was like, there was like this smirk on my face that I cannot get rid of because I knew what I had just went through to get to that point. And it was so small, but it was so damn big because of the work that it took internally to be okay with going out there. And I'm telling you, by the time I got out there and I walked like maybe 3 yards, honey, I was walking all over the place, just totally okay, when just 5 minutes ago you were insecure and uncomfortable with coming outside with your top off. So you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And a big part of this, having the courage, is linked to confidence. And I want to read something to you. As part of my studies and research, I'm reading all sorts of books and websites and talking to different people and asking questions and striking up conversations with strangers to get feedback on why people do what they do, the feelings people have, how different feelings control the actions that they take, etc., etc. And one of the books that I'm reading right now is Millionaire Messenger by Brendan Burchard. Burchard is Burchard. And I have this book on Kindle, and I'm going to read from it for you now. It's on my phone right here. And I'm going to read it from the Kindle app. Usually I like to have hard copies, but I found out about this guy, and I didn't want to wait to go to the bookstore or order from Amazon. So I just went onto the Kindle market real quick and just downloaded it, and I've been reading it. And I read a piece last night that really resonated with me, and it is the essence of um, how we feel about ourselves. It's the difference between people who do what they want to do, push through the fear, and the people who allow the fear to totally control the decisions they make. It's the difference between the confidence and the lack of confidence. It's the difference between saying yes and saying no. It's the difference between winning and losing. It's the beginning, it's the end, it's the foundation, it's the everything. And it really separates the difference between the people who you see living the life on purpose, when you're just like, man, they are going after it, when they still have fear also, and the people who are just really on the sidelines saying, man, I wish I could. I don't know how I could. Man, I'm just so afraid. Man, I just don't think I'm good enough. Man, I just don't think I got it in me. Man, it's that difference. This, what I'm going to read, is that difference, right? Right. So here it is. Pioneers in the self-esteem movement, including leading theorist Nathaniel Branden, tell us that self-worth is the key to understanding and cultivating self-esteem and success in life. Self-worth is the key. It is a proven equation in psychology. The more you feel worthy, the more you feel capable and confident. The same, of course, is true in our industry. If you do not value who you are and what you have to say, your life experience, message, and voice, then you will never have a shot at feeling or becoming confident and successful as an expert. If you do not value your voice, who else will? And see, this is what Bob Proctor talked about when he said you have to have a healthy conceit for yourself. Bob Proctor was the very first personal development coach that I ever knew of and was introduced to in 2003. And in The Secret, which many of you have probably seen, he says you have to have a healthy conceit. Now, see, we're taught in this world that being conceited is a negative thing. Now, see, there's the conceited where you know it all, you have it all, you're first class, and everybody else is second class. That's the unhealthy conceit that most people are thinking about and talking about. But to have the healthy conceit, to know that you have something of value to share with others, to know that you have something of importance, which you determine. I can't determine that. Nobody else can determine that. Only you can determine what your value is. When you decide that you are important enough, you are smart enough, you are strong enough, that you have enough, that you know enough, and that you have that to give, and that you feel wholeheartedly confident and have a healthy conceit in that, that totally contributes to your ability to say, I am worthy, and step into that. Then that determines the actions that you take because you believe that you are worthy. So it's important to have a healthy conceit. And I'm smiling about this because it happens in my day-to-day life all the time. Like, if I feel like I don't deserve a piece of something sweet, then I won't eat it. Or if I eat it, I feel guilty when I'm eating it. Right? And it's because I don't feel like I deserve it, because maybe I didn't work out 5 days, only worked out, or because I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but just something where you just don't feel like you deserve it. Like, oh, sometimes if I feel like I didn't put in enough work during the week, I might not like just really go out and just and have a good time on the weekends. If I feel like I didn't really put in as much energy and really give enough attention to my work, then I'll feel guilty about going out on the weekends because I don't feel worthy, right? So that's my example. You know when you're not feeling worthy, and it's really important that we all have a healthy conceit. And here's another example. I need to have a healthy conceit to be able to produce these videos. My intention in producing these videos is to inspire people to tap into their own powers. That I say something that sort of hits your paradigm, and makes you think differently about the way you've been thinking about yourself, the way you've been viewing the world, the way you've been viewing yourself. Because it's how we view ourselves that determines how we interact with the world, how we interact with other people, what our expectations are. That has to do with how we view ourselves. So it's important that we have that healthy conceit. Gosh, I just feel like I am not stressing that enough. So it's important that the message is it's important that you live your desires, live your wants, live your dreams, live your ambitions so that you're not constantly living your fears, because that is the root of jealousy, of this hate people talk about, is when you're jealous of someone. And see, that's another thing. We're taught that jealousy is a negative thing. Jealousy is a reflection. When you're jealous of someone, when you're hating of someone, there is really an inadequacy in you that you're feeling. It has nothing to do with the other person. You know, a person could be driving around in a $500,000 car, living in a 20,000 square foot mansion or whatever. They could be, driving a Mercedes and living in a 5,000 square foot house, or could be going on vacation 3 times a year. And if you're jealous of that, there's something in you that feels inadequate. And so that it's bouncing off of what when you're looking at that other person. And so that is a great indicator of whether you feel like you're living on purpose, because when you're living on purpose, there's not really room, because you're so filled up with a healthy conceit. It becomes more of an attraction, an admiration thing, where you want to work with that person, where you encourage them, you applaud them, you feel happy for them, because you have your own healthy conceit that you're dealing with, and you're sharing that with other people. And you attract other people who feel that way as well, right? Because people who are pleasant, who feel good about themselves, you don't see them attracting ugly, negative people who are unhappy with their lives. So that's the message for today, folks. Live your dreams, live your desires, live your passions and not your fears. And notice it every day that you're making a decision based on your fear that's not serving you, and consciously choose on purpose to live the desire and not the fear. Okay? So on Friday, for those of you that don't know, 7 steps to fear and to break through fear and self-doubt are going to be live on billiondollarcourage.com. I want to add some quotes in there. It's just like some pings to pick up on as you're reading. So that'll be live on the website Friday, billiondollarcourage.com. Okay, guys? Naima Singletary, billiondollarcourage.com. Until next time, thank you.